Hi all, Everything Sportsman here. So I do a lot of tuning on these guns, but I never tell you or show you what I'm actually doing. So I'm going to do this brief, it's not really an instructional video of like what I'm doing when I'm tuning, but I got in all of my hybrid slugs, all the FX hybrid 22 cal slugs. I got them all in the mail, and so I'm going to tune my 22 to just shoot the hybrid slugs, the 22 grain hybrid slugs specifically, and I want to see what kind of performance I can get out of them. So I'm going to show you a little bit of the tuning and what it takes to tune and like what kind of tuning I'm doing. So I'm basically doing a harmonic tune. So you adjust the reg pressure to where you want it. So I'm going to turn mine up to 150 because everything that I see, everybody that shoots slugs shoots 150 bar. So I'm going to turn it up to 150, and then basically all you're doing is finding the perfect balance, or the closest to perfect balance you can find between your hammer spring and your reg pressure. And so I'll show you what that entails. I'm going to do some demonstrations, and then I'm going to speed it up and get through it kind of like a time lapse, because this takes a long time and sometimes it takes a lot of ammo. And I'll explain to you what taking a lot of ammo means. So taking a lot of ammo basically means that if you turn your reg pressure to 150 bar and you do the harmonic tune, but your gun gets a low standard deviation and you don't like where it's at, or the pellets or the slugs or whatever you're shooting don't like it, then you have to adjust your reg pressure down or up, depending on what you want to do. Most of the time it's down if you start out high, but you turn it down, and then you have to go through the whole process again. And each time you do it, it's around 16 to 20 pellets or slugs to get it right. So that's a little bit of insight on what I mean by it takes a lot of ammo to do this. So without further ado, let's get after it and try to get some of this tuning done, and so that I can shoot the hybrid slugs. If you would like further, more instructional video of how to do this tune, I'm doing the exact same tune that he does. Look up Meathead Marksman. He's an Australian guy, and he does a better job than me, I'm sure, and spends more time. He has like sponsors, I guess, or people give him some ammo, or when new ammo comes out, they give it to him and tell him to test it and try it and see how it works for him. But Meathead Marksman's your guy, and he'll show you basically more in depth than what I'm going to show you today. But I just want you to get an idea of what I'm doing. So let's start out. I want to show you my gun and what I'm doing, what I'm going to be doing to it. So this is what we're working with. It's a 22 cal FX Crown with a black pepper laminate stock, a carbon fiber tank. On top I have a Swift optic, but that doesn't really matter for the tuning portion. Alright, so first off, this is what we're going to do. So you got some things that you have to take off. You got to take this off, that's your power wheel, and you have to take off the safety, and then you have two bolts at the bottom there that you'll have to take off. When you take off the power wheel, you got to watch out because there's two little ball bearings down there, and some springs. You don't want to lose the springs. See the two little ball bearings there? I hope you can see that. I can't see what's on the camera because it's just, I don't have a lens so I can see. Alright. Then, most of the time you can dump these springs out, but you want to dump them somewhere that you're not going to lose them. I don't typically worry about dumping the springs out. I just leave them in there. But now I'm taking off the safety. Now we got to take out these two screws here. And doing this tuning, don't worry about knocking your scope off or accidentally turning the reticles, because you're going to have to sight it all in again anyway. Now that should just lift off. Just like that. And then you can just set this aside, because you're not going to need the stock. Alright, now we flip this back over. I'm not worried about the safety. Some people might be. I'm not really worried about it. I'm not going to shoot the wrong thing. So this has like some oil on it, or not oil, some grease or whatever, and basically the ball bearings stick onto it, but they actually rotate around when you turn them. So you can stick them on like that and then flip it over basically and stick it back on. Just like that. And you take your screw, Alright, now you make sure it turns and clicks, and it does. So you turn this back up to max, and make sure it's not cocked, which it is not. And you want to max out your hammer spring. So basically, stick it in the top, rotate it down. And you just do that until you can't turn this dial. Don't go too far because you can damage it. Make sure that when you stick this Allen key in there that it goes all the way in that screw head. The last thing you want to do is strip it out and then you can't adjust it. Now see, I can't turn this anymore. It's solid. So you want to back it off just enough to where you can turn it. There we go. Now I can turn it. So that's a maxed out hammer spring. Okay, for the harmonic tooling, what you need, well, you don't need it, but it's easier to do it this way. I'm going to show you. Pellets or slugs, full tank or full or close to full tank, a computer with Microsoft Excel spreadsheet and chronograph here, and a really nice backstop. Well, my backstop is a sack that used to have Kentucky bluegrass in it, and I filled it up with corn, and then every time I shoot it, it punches a big hole in it, and then I just take tape and tape up the hole. But it does the job. It stops. There's no holes behind it in the wall. I'll show you. See, no holes. And I've been doing this for a while. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and get started and show you the basics of how to do it, and then I'm going to fast forward and let you see me do the whole thing. All right, here we go. First thing you do, load the gun. All right, first magazine's loaded, first round is loaded, you let the first one go. Wait, before you do that, you know what, let's just see how fast it's going. 734. And that's with max hammer spring. With slugs, here I am at 150 bar. Right there, 150 bar, and with the bottle pressure at almost full. Alright, let's see where it's shooting with 150 bar and max reg pressure. 839 feet per second. Alright, so we made the first shot. The next thing you do is take the Allen key and you stick it in there and you loosen the hammer spring 1. And then you punch it in your computer, 839. And hit enter. Boom. And you just continue doing that. Alright, so that's basic. That's the basic process. So you shoot around, you record your feet per second into your computer, and then turn the hammer spring off 1/2 turn. And then once you do that like 16 times, 18 times, something like that, somewhere in the middle you'll start to see it start to drop off. And I'm like, most of the time for me it's around anywhere from 9 to 11 turns is where it starts to drop off. And that's what you're looking for. So you can set it to max and be able to turn your power wheel down to get it to be able to adjust your speeds later. Alright, so now it's going to be fast forward and I'm going to get this done. I've shot enough. I shot 28 rounds, so now I'm going to take all the data and put it in a chart and see what it looks like. So you highlight all your data, and then you hit insert. We want a line, and this one. Doesn't look too good. Doesn't look like it dropped off hardly at all, but the highest point is here, and then it starts kind of going down. So to conserve ammo, I'm going to turn it back to 19. No, I'm going to turn it back to 17, because that seems like the highest point, and then it starts to fall off. and we'll see what kind of standard deviation we can get. These hybrid slugs weren't very forgiving with all the turns, especially at 150 bar. I don't know if I'm gonna have to go up in reg pressure or down, but we're gonna turn back to 17 and see what kind of standard deviation I can get. We turned it back 11 turns. We're on 17. That's at the top of the graph. Hopefully that's the perfect harmonic tune, because I don't want to waste too much of this ammo. And now we're going to shoot and see what our standard deviation is. Okay, I forgot to hit record on the 17 turns. So, and it was at 4 point something. So I turned it down one more, or turned it one more, and now it's at 18 rotations, and I just shot 3.3 with a 10 shot standard deviation. I'm going to turn it one more to 19 and see if it gets any better. So I'm right in the ballpark. I just got to get it right. 2.4 standard deviation. It's really good. I could keep going and see if I can't get it lower than that. Not certain that I have to, because anything below 4 is where you want to be. I guess I could do, I'm going to do another 5-shot group at 20 turns out, and see if I can get it below 2. And otherwise, I'm just going to keep it right here. I'm going to put it back right here at 19, because that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. All right, here we go. 20 turns out. So 20 turns out put me at 7.5 standard deviation. That's bad. That's bad. I'm not going to run it at 7.5. So see, it only takes a little tiny bit of change to really throw these things off. So I'm going to turn it back 1 and keep it at 2.4 standard dev and see how that does it. If I don't like the performance of the pellets, then I'll probably come back out here, or I'll probably turn my reg pressure up to 150 and then just adjust my power wheel. I don't think I'm going to do this harmonic tuning anymore, especially because it's already really close to where I want it. So I was hoping to get around 900 feet per second in that last group. I can't remember. You'll have to tell me. I think it was right around 900 feet per second. That's about it. That's the end of the tuning. Now you just reassemble the gun and put it where you want it to be, or you put it where you want it to be, then reassemble the gun and then go shoot your groups. I'm gonna shoot groups on my next video. I'm not gonna do them on this video, but that's the idea of what we're doing here. All right, thanks guys. Everything Sportsman out.